Whether you agree or disagree, or it just simply goes over your head, you can still quote me, because that's what I said.
And welcome, everybody. Welcome to Native Talks. Now, if you didn't hear it from these two lips, then you've been lied to and you've been tricked. Because before you can repeat it or even start to debate it, y'all just better make sure that you heard me say it. All right. It's been a while since I've been on here. Been a lot going on in my life. The good thing is, though, that this is my birthday month. It is officially September of 2022. And my birthday will be coming up on the 18th. And I will be going on my vacation at that time. And I cannot wait. It has been a long time coming. My last vacation was last year when I went to Oklahoma. This year, I'll be headed to Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm hitting several places in Tennessee. I'm hitting Henning, Tennessee, Nutbush, Tennessee, Millington, Tennessee, and Mississippi, as well as Memphis. Mississippi is where I'm going to see the Emmett Till Memorial. I've never seen it before, and I want to go. Of course, one of the biggest things I'm seeing in Memphis is Graceland and the Civil Rights Museum. Henning, Tennessee, I'm going to see the childhood home of Alex Haley, who was my inspiration when I was a kid to become a writer and a poet. And then Nutbush, Tennessee, y'all gotta know who come from Nutbush, and that's Miss Legs, Miss Diva, Miss Woman herself, Tina Turner. So I've got a big itinerary of things that I'm going to be seeing while I'm down there. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I got 10 more days before I roll up out of here. So I'm just excited to be able to just get away and not have to worry about, financial problems, the job. This will be my first trip out of state without my mother. My mother used to always be my travel buddy, but ever since she passed away in 2019, I've had to take trips without her. And I know that this is a trip she would have loved to have went on with me, because she took me and my brother to Memphis back when I was 12. And so there was a lot of things, because we were down there for the Church of God in Christ convocation they have down there every year. So when we went and I was 12 years old, there was a lot of things we didn't see because we spent a lot of time in church. So this is a chance to get to see all the stuff that I didn't get to see. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of sad that it took this long for me to be able to do it, but I think it was meant to be this way. Now, the subject that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to kind of hit on just a few things. This usually would have been my Say It Saturday video, but Saturday kind of got away from me. So I didn't quite get a chance to tap into what I wanted to talk about. Okay, we got quite a few things going on in this country. One of the first things is, if you hear dogs barking, those are my neighbors. It ain't me. I don't own no dogs. I have a cat. But I'm just letting you know, if you hear it, that's where it's coming from. Anyway, one of the things that everybody is so gung-ho about is this loan forgiveness bill that President Biden has signed, where, if you go to college on student loans or whatever, that they will forgive the loan. Now, how much of that loan they gonna forgive, I don't know. Whether they cancel the whole thing or whether they, take partial amounts that you owe and cancel it, I don't know. I don't really know the specifics of the thing, but being a person that had to pay, my college loans back, and I didn't have no one, working on my behalf to bail me out, I do feel some type of way about that. Now, I understand, that if you're a college student and you hear this, or if you're the parent of a college student and you hear this, it makes you happy. Why? Because it's taking the pressure off of you, and you thinking, oh, this is a wonderful thing he's doing. But there's two things you need to consider. Number one, why is he doing it? I mean, is he really doing this because he really thinks that the debt needs to be truly taken off of students coming fresh out of college? Or is there some other reason why he's doing this? See, there's a certain type of loyalty you'll have to the government if they forgive your loan. If they, say, hey, we're not going to badger you and harass you to get the money back. We're going to go ahead and let you go to school, let you get your education, and you don't have to pay all the money back. And like I said, with some, they may cancel the entire debt. We just don't know the specifics of the bill. But you got to ask why. Why now? Why now are you coming up with something like this? See, don't just look at what's in front of you. I've always said it 1,000 times. Find the wizard. Don't just look at what's glitzy and glamoury and looks like it's going to work for you right in front of your face. Look behind the scenes. There's always more than one version of a story. And when you're talking about debt forgiveness, you really want to make sure you know all the sides of the story, because at the end of the day, your name is on that debt. So you really want to know, is it truly being canceled or am I being played? Is somewhere down the line that's going to come back to bite me in the butt? The reason why I say that, remember when the stimulus money came out? And everybody, we was going through the pandemic and everybody was on lockdown and folk was losing their jobs. And the country was just in an uproar, right? So what does your government do? They swing in to save the day like Superman. Oh, we're going to give everybody stimulus money to help them get over this thing. But how many of y'all filed your taxes and owed something back? Now, you may not have owed a lot. You may have owed just a little bit. But how many of y'all had to pay something back to the government? Now, they told you it was supposed to be tax-free. You weren't supposed to pay any taxes. But I'm going to tell you, in all the years that I've been paying taxes, I've never owed until 2021 and 2022 when I filed my taxes. And those are the 2 years after we received all that stimulus money. Up until then, I never owed the government. But now that we done had 3 stimulus checks, let's not forget we had 3. We had one under Trump's administration. Then we had another one that I think was like $400, $500. And then Biden gave us a final one, which I think was it $1,400 or $1,600? I think it was $1,400. The first one was $1,400. Then you had $400. Then you had another $1,400. You add all that up. Now, mind you, if you're looking at it the way I do, that's money that we already done paid. In taxes every year, we done paid that and then some. So in my book, the government was trying to make out like they was doing you a favor when in reality, they was just giving you back what you already paid. That's the way I see it. So I didn't get gung-ho about it. I took it because it was mine and I know I earned it in all these years that I've been working, but I wasn't impressed. I'm like, don't think you impressing me by giving me something that was already mine, that I already had a right to anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, just ask questions. Don't just fall for every little thing they say. Do your own investigation. Find the wizard, y'all. Along with that, everybody applauded Biden when he, told all the illegal immigrants that y'all can come in here. He said we have an open door policy. We're not going to be like Trump. We're not going to close the doors and say, no, you can't come in here. We ain't going to deport nobody back. We're going to bring you in. Okay. Then why are you getting upset when the governor of Texas and the governor of Arizona take all of the illegal immigrants that came into their state and started packing them up on buses and shipping them to Washington, D.C. and to New York? Why are y'all upset? Why are you angry? Y'all was happy about this. At the end of the day, it shouldn't matter where the illegal immigrants land as long as they land, right? If they land on free soil that allows them to chase their dreams, why should it matter to you where they land? Soon as the governor of Arizona and the governor of Texas started shipping those people out of their area and sending them to New York, which New York is supposed to be we're the biggest, baddest free state ever next to California. And in Washington, D.C., I mean, come on, you the one that started it. That's where the president said. He's the one who signed the bill and said, let everybody in. And you know what's funny about all of that? You open the doors and let them people in here. You didn't make them have no mandates. They ain't got to wear no mask. They ain't got to have no 6 foot distancing, social distancing. And they didn't lose their jobs or get told you can't come here unless you get the vaccine. No, they've been able to just come up in here. Okay. Then that means take down the mandates and the requirements on everybody else. Leave the military alone. If you're going to let illegal immigrants come in here and they can come in here the way they are, let us live the way we are. That's all I'm saying. Fair square. Don't give someone who ain't a citizen rights that you're not even going to give your citizens. And I'm sorry. That's where I stand on that. That's what I said. If you going to let them in, I don't have a problem with you letting them in. But if you're going to let them in, you give them the same rules and obligations as you make us follow. If you telling folk that we can't work a job or we can still be held accountable for not getting the vaccine, okay, well, what about them? What about them? The fact that you letting them in here and you not making it a requirement for them to have it, back off and leave the American citizens alone. Let us all live without it. Look, we pretty much know by now, COVID is a part of our culture now. It's like the flu and every other sickness out there that we've been living with all our lives. It's something that you can catch, and there's really nothing that's going to stop it from spreading. There's really nothing that's going to stop you from getting it. So let's back up off the mandates. Let's back up off the vaccine talk. Let's just back up off of it. Let's get back to living. And to New York and DC, don't get mad when them people say, it don't matter where the people land. As long as they land, you want them here, find a place for them. See, what y'all could have been doing, I said it 1,000 times, what our country could have been doing, if Biden knew he was going to open the borders and let all these illegal immigrants in, that infrastructure bill he signed, he could have took that money to build new housing for the people who were coming in here. Why didn't he do that? Why would you bring people over here just to make them homeless? That ain't better than what they left. That's pretty much the same situation that they left. If you're going to bring them in here and make them believe that they are able to chase their dream, that they're able to live the life they've always wanted to live, well, make it one step easier for them. Take that money that you was going to use to build highways and roads to build housing. Now, y'all know the deal on that. If he had done that, y'all would have had a fit. because y'all would have been like, we got homeless people right here in this country that ain't got nowhere to stay. And if he had started building housing for illegal immigrants, meaning that the rest of us citizens, even the homeless, couldn't get in these places. These places were strictly for immigrants. Y'all would have had a fit. Y'all would have went off, and you know it. So, I mean, there was no plan in place. When you open your borders, you have to have a plan in place. And when you don't have a plan in place, you open the door to chaos. And that's exactly what's going on. And Arizona and Texas are two states that already have an immigration influx. They get it every day. Other states don't get it as they get it. And then when he opened the borders, it just went into just backdraft. So they was like, look, since y'all started this, since y'all want to do this, y'all deal with it. We're going to send them to y'all. Y'all put them up. Y'all find a place to put these people. I'm curious to know how all that's going to turn out. The sad part is that 9 times out of 10, a lot of those people aren't going to be able to find housing, aren't going to be able to find jobs, and they'll probably wind up homeless on the street. That's the sad part. You don't invite people to your house and not have somewhere for them to stay. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't invite someone to your house and you don't have nowhere for them to sit. And you don't bring someone to your house and you can't offer them a drink of water or you can't offer them something to eat. When you invite someone to your home, it is to offer them hospitality, to make them feel welcome, to make them feel comfortable. Have we done that? Opening the front door of the home is one thing. You got to have somewhere for them to sit. You got to have somewhere for them to rest themselves. And our country didn't do that. We just told them come in, but we didn't create a way for them to feel welcome. I blame Biden for that. And Miss Kamala, I blame her too, because she was the one that he put over that. And the situation, they didn't have a plan. Now, was not having a plan intentional? Maybe. We'll never know. They'll never tell us. But, I mean, it's something to think about. But the sad part is those people have to live with the fallout. They come here thinking that they're going to finally live the life that they want to live, and then they get here and find out, it's not going to quite go the way we thought it was. It's messed up. So I'm just curious to see how that's going to turn out. Now y'all know how I am about the kids. I work with kids. I work with kids in foster care, so I'm real sensitive about the treatment of kids. And I'm sorry, I don't. You can try to explain it to me, but I'm one of those people. It's just not gonna make sense to me. I don't understand. What does a drag queen reading a story to children have to do with education? My brain don't get that. What college degree do you get where the prerequisite to graduate high school says that you had to have had story time with a drag queen? I don't get that. When did our priorities change? When did the requirements to be successful in life all of a sudden turn to all of this ideology? When did that happen? Your identity, your whoever you think you are, whoever you want to be, that's something that's an individual choice and decision that has no presence or place in the classroom. When you're sitting at that desk, it is of no concern who you think you are or who you want to be. You're there to learn. That's what you're there for. The things that you need to be able to take care of yourself as a sufficient adult and a productive member of society is what you are to be taught. You can think you're a woman and you're a guy, and you can think you're a guy and you're a woman. You can think that. But when you're in that classroom and you're sitting in that chair, that doesn't matter at that time. You're there to learn. I know that I went to school with kids who had, you know, issues of sexual identity. I know I went to school with kids that had been molested. I knew I had went to school with kids whose parents weren't in their lives. Some parents had died, some parents just weren't there. Some kids were in foster care. Growing up, I know I went to school with kids like that. But you know what? When we was in the classroom, I never knew any of that. Because when I was in the classroom, it wasn't about what they were going through. It wasn't about what I was going through. What it was about is the teacher was teaching us the tools that we needed to one day become productive adults. You can be a productive transgender. You can be a productive gay person. But what does that have to do with you sitting in the seat and listening to what the teacher says and be able to regurgitate the facts back to her that she teaches to you? What does your sexual preference have to do with any of that? It doesn't. And I'm confused. I'm like, when did we get so caught up in all this other stuff that has absolutely nothing to do? Look, I am 53 years old. I will soon be 54. The only time my sexual identity ever mattered was when I applied for a job and I was asked to put whether I was male or female. And the only reason that they even asked that is because your government likes to keep track of how many men and women are in the workplace, to make sure that you're following certain laws that allow a certain amount of females and a certain amount of males to work in the workplace. That is the only time your sexual identity was ever recorded or concerned about. What mattered more to the business was if you could do the job. But somewhere things done got twisted. Somewhere things done went way to the left, because now it's not about that. Now it's about what you identify with, who you think you are. You know, one day I feel like a nut, one day I don't. You know, I'm non-binary, I'm this, I'm that. What does your being non-binary have to do with you standing behind a cash register at a business and ringing up my food and being able to count the change to give me back? I don't care whether you non-binary, gay, straight, puppy dog, kitty cat, teddy bear. I don't care. You better know how to do the job. That's what I care about. And believe it or not, that's what the majority of this country cares about, is whether you are capable of performing the job that you get. Whatever career choice that you do, can you do it efficiently, productively? And that has nothing to do with your sexual identity. So it's like we need to get focused back on what matters, because we didn't just took our minds and just went somewhere way to the left. And it's like, come on. I know that we're living in a time where they talk about wokeism. Woke to what? I don't get it. What does the statement mean, woke? I don't get that. Look, I've said it many, many times. Because you live on Earth with billions of people, you are never going to get everyone to think the way you think, believe the way you believe, and want the things that you want. You have to respect the fact that every person is different and we're all not going to believe the same thing. We're all not going to like the same thing. A lot of us are not even going to get along. We just learn to coexist on this planet. For a lot of years, that was okay. You may not have liked who your neighbor was, or you may not have liked who the person down the street was, or the person that worked at your job. You may not have liked them. You may not have agreed with them, but they lived their life. You live yours. Now, all of a sudden, it's not enough for everybody to just live their life and leave each other alone. No, I got to try to bend and twist you to make you do what I want. And if you don't think the way I think, I'm coming for you. Why? Were we not all born with our own minds, with our own thoughts, with our own personalities, our own talents, our own gifts, and our own frailties and imperfections? We all were born that way. So why do I have to think like you? Why do I have to believe what you believe? Why do I have to do anything that you do? Why can't you live your life and I live my life and we just inhabit this earth? I don't step in your space. You don't step in mine. That used to be okay, but now we're living in a time where that's not enough. Folk want to drag you into their space and force you to do something that they want you to do and you don't want to. And that's crazy. And as an adult, I'm willing to take on a battle because I'm an adult. But when you try to do that to innocent kids who have no choice but to listen to what adults say, don't be messing with the kids. You had your chance to be a child and be able to figure and navigate what kind of an adult you want to be. Give them that same opportunity. Don't try to step in there and try to cultivate how they think and what they want to do. Let them decide for themselves what they want to be. And a mother and a father is the first glimpse into what adult life is. Now, don't go in there trying to mess that up and try to mess up the relationship between a mother and a father. Now, if a mother and a father mess up their relationship with their children, that's on them. That's for them to make right. That's a debt they owe to their children, not to society. Don't ever get it twisted. You ain't in that family. You ain't in that business. Just because you see what's happening doesn't mean you have a right to say anything about it or do anything about it. You need to stay out of it. And it just bothers me that we're living in a time where they just want to take children as a whole and try to bend them and twist them into what they want. That makes me angry. Because all of us adults, whether we came from bad childhoods or whether we came from decent childhoods, whether we were black, white, whatever race we were, we all had a chance to decide what kind of an adult we wanted to be. And yeah, we may have heard other people spout their opinions, but we didn't have anybody bending and twisting us to do what we wanted or what they wanted. We were able to listen to other people, listen to our parents, and take what we wanted and decide what kind of an adult we wanted to be. And every child has a right to that. And when you have people who don't like what this country is doing and they decide that they want to take the children and mold the children into something that they can easily control, that makes me angry. That makes me so angry because you're not being fair. You're not allowing them to navigate their own life. You're trying to take that from them. And they won't figure it out until they're an adult and they're really living a life that they're not happy with. They're living a life that everyone else felt they should live, but it wasn't the life they wanted to live. And just in case y'all wondering, I ain't talking about being transgender. I'm just talking about being a human being. There are certain things that we as human beings decide that we want to do, and we don't want anyone infringing on that. Well, where do you think that starts? It starts from the simple things and then grows to the big thing. So all I'm saying is leave the children alone. Leave their relationship with their parents alone. They are a family unit. Let them navigate as a family on how they want to raise their children, and let the child be able to say, I'm going to take what mom and dad has given me, take what I've seen in the world, what I've heard, what I like, what I don't like, and I decide. That's what every child has a right to do. Don't take that from them. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to end this. I will be doing another one sometime later this week. The closer I get to my vacation, no, I'm going to be honest with you, I ain't going to be doing so many of them until after my vacation, because my vacation, I've been waiting for this. Man, I have been waiting for this because I'm kind of on like this civil rights thing. Everything that I didn't get to see as a child, I'm trying to see that stuff now. I spent so many years taking care of my mom and working a job and just letting the job take all my time. And so now I'm at a point where I'm getting older. You know, me getting ready to be 54, there's so much of this world that I haven't seen because I spent so much time working and, you know, laboring in someone else's field. And I've never been able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. So this trip means a lot to me, you know, because I finally get to enjoy just a little bit of the fruit of my labor, and I'm going to enjoy that. So the closer I get to my vacation, I'm going to not be doing too many videos, but after my vacation, I'll start coming back in. I do thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I realize that, you know, me talking about my experiences, me talking about my feelings about certain things, it ain't everybody's tea. I get that. Everybody's got a flavor. Everybody's got a flow. And everybody might not flow with me. That's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna say it, even if I'm the only one out there saying it. It's gonna get said. That's just the way it is. I'm gonna say what I say. But thank y'all for tuning in and listening anyway. And this is Labor Day. So happy Labor's Day to all of y'all people who have contributed to our society in your work careers. And at this point, I don't care what it was. I don't care if it was daycare. I don't care if it was fast food, all the way up to the biggest business. If you held a job down and you labored, whether it was in somebody else's vineyard or a vineyard that you made yourself. When you labor and you contribute to this society, you deserve an applause, because there are a lot of people out there that have never worked a day in their life. They've always tried to take the easy route to make a living. They've never done things legitimately. They've always done it under the table and in hidden ways. And so when people do the right thing and have a career and have a legitimate job and they go hard and work every single day, you deserve applause, you deserve credit. And I applaud all of you. And I throw myself in there because I've been working ever since I was the tender age of 13 years old, and my mama had me in the summer youth program. I worked every summer since age 13. When I turned 16 was when I got my first job on my own, and that was at Hardee's. And every year of my life, I have worked. The longest I have ever been unemployed was 6 months, and that was in 2015. So my mother, she taught me how to work, hustle, because you can't have a work career without being a hustler. You have to be a hustler. You have to be willing to get out there and go after the job. The job ain't going to come to you. You got to go after it. And my mother taught me that because my mother was a work hustler. So congrats to all of you who have contributed to the Labor Society. You are appreciated, and you are the backbone of this country. You are what keeps this country going. Our government don't keep us going. They just take what we give them. We are the backbone of this country. We are America. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And until the next episode, I'll see y'all.
If you like my vibe, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Till the next time, see ya.